Jessie Pearson always believed she had done everything right. She raised her children with warmth, stayed active well into her 60s, and never skipped her daily shower. Yet one day, her 6-year-old grandson pulled away from her hug, wrinkling his nose in an almost unconscious gesture. That single moment shattered her sense of comfort and closeness. She recalled how, over the weeks prior, her daughter-in-law had been quietly opening windows whenever Jessie walked into a room. At first, Jessie brushed it off as a coincidence. Maybe the house just needed fresh air. But as time went on, the pattern stayed the same, and her grandson's innocent reaction was the final straw. She wondered whether there was something wrong with her, some hidden sign of aging she'd never been told about. This is the story no one likes to talk about, the issue of older adult body odor. If you've ever felt self-conscious because family members avoid sitting too close, or you catch them discreetly spraying air freshener, you're not alone. And if you're the child or grandchild of a senior who's been concerned about this topic, you'll discover why it happens and how it can be fixed. Stay with me until the end, because we're going to uncover the hidden factors behind this distinct smell and, more importantly, how to get rid of it without expensive products or awkward conversations. The fix might seem almost too simple, but it can transform your family connections in ways you never imagined. But that's not the whole story. There's a deeper emotional side here, one that most people overlook. The sense of smell is deeply tied to how we interact and bond. When it goes wrong, especially for seniors, it creates a quiet isolation that nobody likes to admit. By the end of this script, you'll not only understand the science behind this specific scent, but you'll also learn practical steps to address it for good. Let's start by exploring that silent struggle many seniors face when the people they love keep their distance, often without explaining why. Growing older should be a time of enjoying the fruits of a lifetime of work and family building. Yet for many seniors, there's a heartbreaking undercurrent, one they might not even be aware of until it's too obvious to ignore. Take Edward W. from Indiana, a 70-year-old who prided himself on cleanliness. He showered every day, changed his clothes regularly, and maintained a home that was spotlessly neat. One afternoon, he overheard his teenage grandson whispering to a friend, "Man, Grandpa's house has that old person smell." Edward didn't know whether to feel angry, embarrassed, or sad. Even though no one was overtly rude, there was a palpable distance whenever he entered a room. For many older adults, that sense of everyone politely staying away comes as a shock. People seldom mention the reason outright, especially within close families. They might crack a window or offer a freshener subtly, thinking they're sparing the senior's feelings. It's usually done out of kindness, but the result is that the older individual is left in the dark about a problem that's very fixable. Carolyn M., a 66-year-old retired teacher, recalls a moment she realized her daughter's demeanor changed whenever they sat in a confined space, like a car or a small living room. Carolyn started noticing more frequent references to opening a window or turning on the fan. She said, "I just felt that something was off, but no one would actually tell me." That quiet avoidance can lead to self-doubt, lowered confidence, and sometimes a decision to withdraw socially. What many seniors don't realize is that there's often a biological factor at play. This odor isn't a sign of poor hygiene. It's tied to the natural processes that come with aging, processes few people ever talk about openly. The good news is that once you know what's really happening, there are simple habits you can adopt to keep it under control. But the emotional impact can be profound if these changes aren't addressed. Seniors may interpret the polite distance from loved ones as a personal rejection. It takes only a few awkward interactions for them to start believing they're unwanted or inconvenient. Suddenly, the once vibrant grandparent starts spending more time alone, avoiding gatherings, and losing the zest they had in earlier years. The cycle is insidious, but it can be broken. Let's uncover the scientific core of this issue so we can shine a light on what's really happening beneath the surface. When you reach your 50s, 60s, and beyond, your body doesn't just look different, it functions differently too. While folks often talk about creaky joints or fading vision, few discussions mention the changes in sweat patterns, skin chemistry, and oral health that directly influence how a person smells. These changes aren't random or indicative of poor cleanliness. They're simply part of the aging process. Sweat patterns. Think of your sweat as a natural cleanser. When you're younger, you sweat more, helping flush out toxins and other waste products. After around age 60, sweat production can decrease significantly. At first glance, that might sound like an advantage. Fewer sweaty shirts, less body odor. But ironically, it can worsen things. When you sweat less, your skin retains more waste and dead cells, providing a breeding ground for bacteria. Those bacteria break down on the skin surface, causing subtle yet distinct smells that can cling to clothing, furniture, and even rooms. Sebum and nominal compounds. Sebum is the oily substance your skin produces. As people age, the composition of that sebum changes. A key ingredient called nominal, a type of oxidized fatty acid, tends to increase. In younger adults, nominal is barely there, so it's not an issue for older adults. The surge in nominal becomes a key factor behind what many refer to as the old person smell. It's not necessarily foul or unclean. Instead, it's a unique, musty kind of scent that's tied to chemical oxidation in the skin, dry mouth, and oral changes. Another overlooked aspect is reduced saliva production. Saliva serves as a protective rinse inside your mouth, washing away harmful bacteria and leftover food particles. When saliva decreases with age, the mouth dries out and bacterial growth can ramp up that can lead to persistent bad breath and, by extension, a stronger personal odor that isn't solved by mouthwash alone. Oxidation and aging. Oxidation is a natural chemical reaction that happens in the body as cells break down and renew. Over time, oxidative stress can increase, altering the way your skin and organs function. This isn't about using the wrong soap or shampoo. It's part of the deeper aging process. However, knowing about it is the first step toward mitigating its effects. Understanding these biological shifts helps you realize that any older adult could encounter an age-related scent, even if they're meticulously clean. People like Jesse Pearson or Edward W. might have felt blindsided by the notion that they smell different, but there's a scientific explanation, and better yet, a set of solutions. Before diving into the practical steps, let's talk about lifestyle, because it can shape or aggravate those biological changes, especially when it comes to diet, exercise, and even mental well-being. When people discuss aging, they rarely delve into how everyday routines like diet, hydration, and mental outlook can directly influence body odor. But lifestyle factors can either amplify or reduce the natural processes outlined in the previous section. Diet's role: foods rich in antioxidants, think berries, tomatoes, leafy greens, help fight oxidative stress. This mitigates some of the chemical changes that lead to the older adult smell. Meanwhile, heavily processed foods, excessive sugar, or high-sodium diets can tip your internal balance toward inflammation and oxidation, intensifying unwanted odors. Hydration and warm water. Drinking enough water daily flushes out toxins and supports healthy sweat production. Surprisingly, many seniors consume less water than they need, often due to reduced thirst signals. Warm water, in particular, can be gentler on sensitive stomachs and can encourage more frequent hydration. Adequate fluid intake not only assists in toxin removal, but also keeps the skin from becoming overly dry or flaky, which can further trap bacteria and odor. Mild exercise. A leisurely 15 to 20-minute walk in the sun, either before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m. to avoid harsh rays, can be a game changer. Light sweating helps clear pores, while sunlight helps kill some of the bacteria on your skin. This routine, done daily or at least several times a week, can gradually shift your body's internal chemistry toward a fresher, cleaner state. Emotional well-being. It might seem unrelated at first, but there's a feedback loop between mental health and self-care. When people feel depressed or isolated, they might skip showers or avoid engaging in exercise. As a result, odor issues can become more pronounced. On the flip side, embarrassment about a personal smell can lead to social withdrawal, which might contribute to depression. Breaking this cycle is crucial, which is why simple self-care steps can have a ripple effect on emotional wellness. Misinterpretation of fragrances. Many seniors try to mask changes in body odor with perfume, cologne, or deodorant. While these can help temporarily, they often just layer a new scent over the underlying issue, making it more noticeable. When younger family members smell a strong perfume combined with that old person scent, they may react by opening windows or moving away, even if they're not trying to be offensive. Lifestyle choices, therefore, serve as either a buffer or a catalyst for the aging odor dilemma. Yet there's an even simpler approach most people haven't heard of, focusing on just 2 specific areas during bathing to tackle 90% of the problem. That's exactly what we'll dive into next, and it might shock you how straightforward it can be to reduce or almost eliminate that lingering scent. After years of working with seniors, geriatric experts discovered something that goes against many assumptions. It's not about scrubbing your entire body with special soaps or taking multiple showers a day. Instead, the fastest path to eliminating the bulk of older adult odor is to concentrate on just 2 spots or sets of spots where bacteria and oxidized oils gather most heavily. Spot number 1, deep skin folds and creases. Areas like the neck folds, underarms, groin, behind the knees, around the navel, and under the breasts for women are prime real estate for odor-causing bacteria. These are places that can trap sweat and dead skin cells, especially if the sweat doesn't evaporate easily. While most people rinse these areas in a standard shower, the key is thorough yet gentle scrubbing. A soft cloth or loofah can help remove the buildup without damaging senior skin, which is often more delicate, back of neck and ears. Many seniors forget this region. It's out of sight and can collect oils that become rancid over time. Underarm technique. Lift the arm fully and wash not just the center of the underarm, but also the perimeter where the skin folds onto itself. A gentle scrubbing motion for a few extra seconds can make a huge difference. Spot number 2, hairy areas, scalp, armpit hair, chest hair. Hair traps sweat, oils, and bacteria. People often shampoo too lightly, missing the scalp itself. Spend an extra moment really massaging the scalp to dislodge dead skin cells and sebum deposits. For individuals with chest hair, lather it the same way you do your head. Men especially tend to skip thoroughly washing chest or belly hair, which can hold on to odors if not rinsed properly. Scalp massage. Using your fingertips, work in small circles with mild shampoo. Rinse thoroughly to ensure you're not leaving product behind. Armpit hair. If you prefer not to shave, be sure to clean the hairs well, perhaps even gently running soapy fingers through them to remove trapped sebum. Some seniors, noticing an off smell, resort to strong perfumes or colognes. But experts caution that a clean, gently scrubbed scalp and body folds neutralize the odor at its source. After you've addressed these 2 major spots, you'll likely have taken care of 90% of the problem. But there's still more you can do to keep the scent from returning, and that includes small yet impactful changes in how you shower, dress, and maintain your home. Before we move on, let's highlight a common reaction. That's it? Just these 2 areas? Yes, because the majority of older adult smell stems from oxidized oils and bacteria. If you consistently clean where they accumulate the most, you're cutting off the problem at its root. However, those who skip the rest of the routine still risk letting the odor creep back. So let's move into a more comprehensive plan that ties everything together. A daily or weekly routine that specifically targets smell culprits can transform how you feel about your personal space. It can also shift how family members respond when they walk into your home or embrace you. Below are detailed strategies to apply, all of which work best when combined consistently. Warm water showers. Use water between 100 degrees Fahrenheit and 104 degrees Fahrenheit to avoid stripping the skin of its natural protective layer. Overly hot water can aggravate dryness, making odor worse in the long run. Give extra attention to the 2 key spots: deep skin folds and hairy areas. Gently but thoroughly scrub with a soft cloth or mild exfoliating sponge. Weekly soak. If possible, soak in a warm bath once a week for about 15 to 20 minutes. This can help loosen deep-seated dirt and oils in pores. After soaking, rinse off with fresh water to ensure you remove any loosened debris. Post-shower moisturizing. Aging skin can get dry and flaky, providing more surfaces for bacteria. A simple, fragrance-free moisturizer helps maintain the skin's barrier. Pay special attention to any areas prone to itchiness or dryness, such as elbows, knees, and the backs of hands. Mouth care. Brush teeth at least twice a day, ideally after every meal. But don't forget to brush or scrape your tongue. The tongue harbors a large portion of oral bacteria that lead to bad breath. Keep sugar-free gum or lozenges on hand to encourage saliva flow. A dry mouth is a breeding ground for odor-causing microbes. Proper clothing. Wear clean clothes every day, especially underwear and socks. Cotton is often the best choice for breathability. In warmer months, change clothing more frequently if you sweat at all. Washing clothes thoroughly after each wear prevents bacteria buildup. Foot care. Feet can be an epicenter of odor. Be sure to scrub between the toes and dry them well before putting on socks or shoes. Alternate shoes every other day, allowing each pair to air out fully. Using baking soda inside your shoes overnight can absorb lingering smells. Bedding and linens. Wash sheets and pillowcases weekly. If possible, let them dry in the sun, as ultraviolet rays help kill germs. Replace pillows or launder them according to the manufacturer's instructions at least once a year, because they can accumulate oils from your scalp. Home ventilation. Air out rooms at least once a day for around 10 minutes. Stale. Enclosed spaces can amplify lingering odors. If the weather is cold, crack a window briefly in the morning and evening. Fresh air circulates and reduces that musty atmosphere, sometimes associated with older homes. Many seniors who adopt these steps report noticing a difference in just a couple of weeks. Others say their family members commented positively, sometimes even asking if they'd changed soaps or lotions. This routine is neither complex nor expensive, and it allows individuals to take control of how they smell without feeling forced to buy costly specialty products. But it's crucial to realize that internal factors like diet also play an important role. If you only focus on the outside and ignore what's going on inside your body, you might still face some stubborn odor challenges. Let's delve deeper into how simple nutritional tweaks can supercharge these results. People often overlook the link between what they eat and how they smell. Think of it this way: the body expels waste not only through the digestive system, but also through the pores in your skin. If your diet is full of inflammatory or highly processed foods, your body will reflect that in various ways, including odor. Antioxidants. Consuming foods rich in antioxidants can slow down the oxidation process that spikes nominal in aging skin. Berries, tomatoes, apples, spinach, and kale can help reduce the internal chemical reactions that produce foul-smelling compounds. An easy way to incorporate them is by making a daily smoothie. Blend spinach or kale with berries, a bit of yogurt, and water. That's a quick, tasty infusion of antioxidants. Fiber and regular bowel movements. Constipation can increase body odor because toxins that should leave your body linger, sometimes getting reabsorbed. High fiber foods like oatmeal, brown rice, beans, and vegetables help keep you regular. As an older adult, you might need more fiber than you think. Aim to include whole grains or produce in every meal. Hydration and herbal teas. Plain water is wonderful, but if you want flavor, consider herbal teas like chamomile or barley tea. These can hydrate you without dehydrating effects like caffeine. Limit coffee and alcohol. Both can dehydrate the body, intensify dryness, and produce residual substances that carry a strong odor. Garlic and spices. Although garlic can give you garlic breath for a while, when digested fully, it's actually linked to reduced body odor over the long term. Garlic has antibacterial properties, which help control the internal bacteria that may lead to unpleasant scents on the skin. Moderation is key. 1 or 2 cloves of garlic a day, or a sprinkle of strong spices like turmeric or ginger, can offer health benefits without making your breath perpetually pungent. Rinse or brush afterward if you're worried about immediate garlic breath. Reducing processed foods. Foods loaded with refined sugar or chemical additives can disrupt the gut microbiome, leading to an imbalance that may manifest in stronger body odor. Replacing sugary snacks with fruits, nuts, or seeds can make a surprising difference over time. When your body gets the right nutrients, it operates more smoothly. You'll sweat out fewer toxins, your breath won't grow stale as quickly, and your skin's natural oils are less likely to become rancid. Nutritional changes, paired with proper hygiene, can transform your everyday confidence. You'll know that when someone leans in for a hug, they won't recoil or subtly pull away. Up next, we'll expand on how routine environmental care, like properly washing clothes and bedding, acts as a finishing touch. That's because even if you keep your body clean and healthy, unwashed fabrics can reintroduce stale odors the minute you step back into your clothes or climb into bed. Staying odor-free isn't about quick fixes. It's about little habits that become second nature. Once you establish these routines, you won't have to think much about them. They'll just be part of your day. Below are a few more pro tips to seal the deal. Frequent laundry cycles. Even if clothing looks clean, seniors often perspire in small amounts that don't create visible stains, but do leave behind residues. Wash each garment after a single day's wear, especially undergarments. Consider using a mild, fragrance-free detergent to avoid layering heavy perfume scents onto fabrics. Sunlight as a disinfectant. Whenever possible, air dry dry clothes, sheets, and towels in direct sunlight. The sun helps eradicate odors by killing bacteria and letting fresh air permeate the fabric. If you live in a climate with limited sun, you can still air out freshly washed fabrics near a window or use a fan to speed drying. Bathroom hygiene. Keep baking soda or a small container of activated charcoal in the bathroom to absorb excess moisture and odors. This ensures your grooming area doesn't turn musty and affect the overall scent in the house. Ventilate the bathroom after each bath or shower. If you have a window, open it. If not, run an exhaust fan for several minutes. Regular pillow and blanket replacement. Pillows, in particular, can accumulate scalp oils. Many folks wash pillowcases often, but forget that the pillow itself can harbor smells. Replace or wash your pillow according to care instructions at least once a year. Blankets, especially heavy quilts, should be washed or aired out at least every change of season. Simple house fresheners. Placing bowls of vinegar or coffee grounds in rooms for a few hours can help neutralize stale odors. These natural deodorizers work without just masking scents with artificial fragrance. If you enjoy essential oils, a couple of drops in a diffuser in a well-ventilated room can offer a subtle freshness without overpowering. By integrating these strategies into your normal routine, you create an environment that consistently smells clean and welcoming. No single step on its own is a silver bullet, but the cumulative effect of all these practices ensures that your home becomes the epitome of freshness. Even more importantly, you'll feel confident inviting people over or embracing your grandchildren without second-guessing whether they notice something off. So far, we've covered the main culprits behind age-related odor and mapped out a full strategy to combat them from multiple angles. Next, let's address a topic that often gets overlooked: bridging the communication gap between generations. Even if you do everything right physically, there can still be emotional barriers to overcome if your family has never learned how to talk about this sensitive subject openly. One of the toughest parts of dealing with the old person smell issue is the communication barrier. Younger relatives might sense something, but don't feel comfortable bringing it up. Older adults, in turn, may feel hurt or singled out if the topic is raised insensitively. Learning to talk about it with empathy is key. Open avenues for conversation. Family members, approach the topic gently. Rather than saying, "You smell," try something like, "I read about how certain changes in the skin happen after 60. Let's look at these tips together." Seniors, if you sense your family tiptoeing around the issue, consider being the one to open up. Say, "I've heard that older folks can develop a certain smell. I want to address it so no one feels uncomfortable. Has anyone noticed something I should know?" Encourage a team mentality. Emphasize that hygiene and health practices are beneficial for everyone, not just seniors. Let family members share their own routines and suggestions. This fosters a sense of partnership rather than making anyone feel singled out. If your loved ones participate in the house chores, like doing laundry or cooking, they can help implement some of the tips on sunlight, drying, or antioxidant-rich meals. Normalize aging. The changes older adults experience are natural. Instead of treating them like taboo topics, normalizing them can reduce embarrassment. For example, mention that hair turning gray is expected. Likewise, a shift in body odor is expected but can be managed. Frame these discussions as part of staying healthy in your golden years, alongside checking blood pressure or monitoring blood sugar. Acknowledge emotional impact. Recognize that feeling excluded or avoided due to a perceived smell can be deeply hurtful. Equally, families can feel guilty about wanting to avoid certain spaces. Being open about these emotions helps everyone handle them more compassionately. Once the channels of communication are open, implementing the practical tips becomes much easier. The family can work as a unit, helping with laundry, going grocery shopping for antioxidant-rich foods, or even joining a grandparent in a short daily walk to encourage consistent exercise. These combined efforts remove the stigma and transform the challenge into a bonding opportunity. At this point, you might be wondering how to sustain these changes for the long haul. That's where consistency and motivation come into play. Let's wrap up with a concise recap of the major takeaways and a final thought designed to keep you inspired on this journey. After exploring every angle, from scientific explanations to emotional implications, it's clear that the so-called old person smell is neither an unavoidable curse nor a sign of poor hygiene. It's a natural outcome of changes in sweat production, skin chemistry, and oral health that come with age. Yet, it can be effectively managed, often with just a handful of simple daily and weekly habits. Here's a brief recap of the most impactful steps you can take right away. Stay hydrated. Aim for 6 glasses of warm water per day. Mild exercise. A 20-minute stroll in gentle sunlight flushes toxins and revitalizes your skin. Targeted washing. Give extra attention to deep skin folds and areas with hair. A short, focused scrub can eliminate 90% of stubborn odor. Weekly soak. Loosen debris and toxins with a warm bath once a week. Focus on diet. Incorporate antioxidant-rich foods, enough fiber, and limit dehydrating beverages like coffee and alcohol. Clothing and bedding. Wash them regularly. If possible, dry items in sunlight to naturally kill bacteria and reduce musty smells. Open communication. Talk with family members about concerns, making sure everyone understands the science behind aging and body odor. These steps aren't complicated, yet the difference they make can be life-changing. Seniors who adopt these routines often notice their grandchildren drawing closer and being more eager for hugs. They no longer feel the dread of people subtly scooting away or cracking a window the minute they enter a room. Beyond the social rewards, these habits also enhance overall health, from smoother digestion to fresher breath and more resilient skin. Take a moment to imagine the relief. No more second-guessing whether someone has caught a whiff of an unpleasant odor. No more worrying that conversations will be cut short because loved ones feel uneasy. Instead, you'll share cherished moments without that nagging concern. All it takes is a willingness to adapt and remain consistent. So here's your call to action. Start today. Decide on 1 or 2 tips you can implement this very moment. Maybe it's pouring a glass of warm water or setting aside a few extra minutes in the shower to properly clean those overlooked areas. As soon as you sense the positive changes, keep going. Momentum will build, and so will your confidence. Over time, you'll realize that managing the scent associated with aging isn't just about vanity. It's about preserving your dignity, reinforcing bonds with friends and family, and maintaining a bright sense of self-worth. Thank you for sticking with me to the end of this in-depth exploration. If there's just one thing you take away, let it be this: the way you smell in your later years doesn't have to define you. A few targeted adjustments can shift your entire outlook and bring you closer to the people you love. Embrace these ideas. Share them with others who might benefit. And remember that aging gracefully is a combination of knowledge, consistent care, and an open heart. If you found these insights helpful, consider sharing them with another senior or a loved one who might benefit. Keeping ourselves and our environments fresh is more than just a superficial concern. It's a key to staying connected, fostering warmth within the family, and enjoying life's precious moments without the silent worry of unspoken judgments. Here's to living our golden years with confidence, respect, and the closeness of those who matter most.